Calvin Coolidge became president due to the death of Warren Harding. He took over on August 3rd, 1923. He came into office and he was determined to end the corruption. It was the Roaring Twenties, and Coolidge was very popular. He was seen as a virtuous man, and he inspired people, even during the Roaring Twenties when the rules of virtue were changing. He was born on the 4th of July, 1872. His name was actually John Calvin Coolidge, but he used his middle name. His father was a Vermont politician and served in the Vermont General Assembly. His father was also a farmer and a storekeeper. At the age of 12, Calvin's mother died. She was 39. He attended a couple schools, but graduated from Amherst College in Massachusetts. He moved to Northampton, Massachusetts, to read law and pass the bar in 1897. He opened his own law office and did fairly well. He met Grace Goodhue, and they married in 1905. She had graduated from the University of Vermont. They had two sons, but one died at the age of 16. Coolidge would suffer depression from then on. He became involved in politics and was selected to be a member of the Republican Committee. He was elected to the city council in 1898. The job paid nothing, but it got him exposure, and he would soon be elected as a city solicitor. He was then elected to the Massachusetts House of Representatives. He decided to return home, and he was elected as the mayor of Northampton. It was then off to the Senate. He lost only one election in his entire life, and that was, I think, for the school board. What's left? Well, let's run for lieutenant governor, and he won. After that, of course, you got to run for the governor, and he won that. There was a police strike in which he tried to let the mayor of Boston deal with it. However, he didn't like how he was dealing with it, so he took it over. He said there was not a right to strike against public safety anywhere, anytime. People were worrying about their safety, and Coolidge became a hero across the country. Probably not, however, with organized labor. When he ran for governor a second time, he won with increased margins. In 1920, he was chosen as Warren Harding's vice president. The vice president had few duties, however. He did attend some cabinet meetings. His quietness really started here. He could give speeches, but he was not that talkative in small settings. He took over the presidency on August 3rd, 1923, and the oath was given by his father, who was a justice of the peace and a notary public. When he got back to Washington, he was sworn in again in case there were constitutional issues about a state official performing such a function. This wasn't known until 1932. Coolidge had been up in Vermont when Harding had died. His first priority was to root out the corruption, and he worked with Congress to accomplish that. He was becoming more liked as the election of 1924 was looming. In the 1924 election, Coolidge was nominated on the first ballot. They chose former Brigadier General Charles G. Dawes to be his running mate. The Democrats nominated John W. Davis, Woodrow Wilson's Solicitor General, and a former ambassador and a member of the House. For vice president, they chose Charles Wayland Bryant, the former governor of Nebraska and the younger brother of William Jennings Bryan. The Democrats were hoping for a Republican split with Robert M. LaFontaine, a Republican senator from Wisconsin, running for the Progressive Party. Coolidge was having a hard time due to the death of his son. But in the end, Coolidge received 382 electoral votes, won 35 states, and 54% of the popular vote. Davis won 139 electoral votes, won 12 states, and 28.8% of the popular vote. LaFontaine got 13 electoral votes, only carrying his home state of Wisconsin. And he got 16.6% of the popular vote. Coolidge put the economy in the hands of Herbert Hoover, who was the Secretary of Commerce. Hoover promoted business and developed airlines and radio communications. He appointed people to the regulatory agencies who were hesitant to have the government regulate anything. He cut taxes and lowered spending, and he reduced our national debt by 25%. Coolidge did not have much interest in foreign affairs and did not achieve much of anything, but he didn't mess anything up. He kept troops in most places in Latin America where they already were. He did, however, pull the troops out of the Dominican Republic. He tried to get them out of Nicaragua, but ended up having to send them back. He continued the policy of not recognizing the Bolsheviks in Russia and tried to normalize relationships with Mexico. During his administration, the economy was good, and generally there was peace. Coolidge chose not to seek another term in office. He figured 6 years was enough, and he was still depressed from the death of his son. He returned to Northampton and did some charitable work, as well as riding his hackercraft boat. Coolidge died on January 5th, 1933, at the age of 60 from a blood clot in the heart. A little before his death, he told a friend that he no longer fit with these times. He's one of the poorest presidents we had, with a net worth of well under $1 million. If you like these presidential videos, please hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks for listening.